Hello, my friends, welcome back. I'm Chisco Gaming, and wow, we had our first Frost Dragon Tyrant this weekend, and it was a heck of an event. So I thought I'd put together a little video with a few moments and talking a little bit about kind of like how it works, because I knew I like went in kind of understanding, but after doing it and really seeing it, I was like, okay, I understand now how this works. I get it now. All right, I get it. By the way, I did predict the winner. Except I think I predicted their main alliance and not the alliance that they actually were in for the state, which is like really, really, really frustrating. I got cucked by the frickin' fact that I think they had a different team. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Anyways, let's talk about how this actually works. So you're going to pick some winners, and hopefully one of those teams wins because you get a payout. But how do you win? You hold that right there. The Frost Dragon Tyrant, right? You hold the Tyrant. We obviously were trying to teleport into this area. I completely blunder the entry here, and you're going to see that in just a second, and it nearly cost me my teleport spot, but it didn't, so winning. And the whole map is going to fill up like this. So I woke up, I set an alarm for like 5:55 a.m., which I would not do again. Like, it's too early for me, man. Like, I want to do this, but like it's too early. It is too early. I can't, like, no, I will not sacrifice sleep, but the first time I did it. Anyways, you teleport in. When that happens, there's an hour before the action even starts. So you have to get into position an hour before the action, but you can't go AFK because like you could get absolutely zeroed while you're there. Now, you could heal all your troops. The attacker loses troops permanently. The defender does not, but like, it's a lot of healing. Look, I had a peace shield on. That was my blunder. Could have cost me the spot. I could have even been closer too. Minus the peace shield, I could have been closer too. So proximity here matters a lot. It matters way more than you would think. I dropped a lot of gems in this event. Yeah. I want to say close to 100,000, and it would have been more if I was further away for sure. But because I was pretty close and we got a couple rally leads up front here, that wasn't necessarily the case. Anyways, you need to hold the center. Time and center determines who wins. And I wanted to go to my wall to like set my wall garrison and make sure that it never left, but you can't do that apparently. You can see I'm like fiddling with it, trying to figure out. I was like, my wall garrison's on and I want to just quick reinforce other people, but like, am I going to get dumpstered for having done it? I don't want to mess with it. So here I was just sort of bracing for impact to see if I get yeeted out of my spot. That's the official technical term, getting yeeted. Anyways, I didn't. And then the fun begins. So you can see we got 53 more minutes before the fun begins. There's a middle, there's 4 outsides. The 4 outsides unlock for contention every other 30 minutes, and then they lock. And when they lock, whoever held it the longest gets buffs, and those buffs are insane. So basically, at that point, it's impossible to capture and hold the middle, even with a multi-rally. I am 20% buffed here. I'm like big buffed. We're big buffed, baby. The big buffs are on. And so basically, there's multiple strategies for how you go about this event. One would be, oh, well, we're just going to go for the middle. Another would be, well, we're going to go for the outsides and then go for the middle when we have all the buffs running. Let's go to the next vid and talk about it here, all right? So this is me just getting a look around, just for like context, okay? I was like, God dang, look at all these players. There's like a gazillion states and a gazillion players from each state all taking up space. So you either get a spot off rip or you get cooked, okay? It is what it is. And you can see the 4 exterior buildings and the 1 sort of center building, and there's all these clusters around all these things and all these people. So you're either online the second this thing opens up, or you aren't playing the event. You can play it from the outside, basically, is the way that kind of goes. And to show you how chaotic this is, you can see here the capital's under contention. This guy's going to have it, but then like somebody else is going to have it, and somebody else is going to have it, and somebody else is going to have it, and somebody else is going to have it. And this thing's just going to go boom, 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 rotating, you know, from person to person to person to person. Now, you want to get time onto one person, okay? You want to get time onto one person because it's not the alliance that's getting time right there. It's this person that's getting clock time. And then they get kicked out. And it's like that's it. That's how fast it is. There's a boom boom. They're in, they're out. Now, you start to get the hang of it later, and there's reasons why that's the case, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But there's lots of strategies. This was my first one, so I'm very much just kind of like along for the ride here. Shout out to the people who organized. So just for context of like how much stuff is happening, yeah, that much stuff is happening. Everybody's going to the middle. Okay, everybody is going to the middle. So I just wanted to give this like zoom out context of like people don't understand how massive Frost Dragon Tyrant is. Frost Dragon Tyrant is crazy, bro. This thing's crazy. All right, all these players and all these marchers from so far away, totally nuts. When I say that when you take the spires, you get buffed up, this player has 5,210% infantry defense, 3,627% infantry health, 4,244% infantry attack, 4,244% marksman attack, 5,210% marksman defense. The point I'm making here is, oh my God, when those, I think they're called spires, the outer four buildings, if they're getting when those are captured, good luck taking the middle. Good luck. You're going to need it. You don't have the stats. You're not going to be able to do it. Or you could take it, but you can't hold it. Crazy. Bro, it's crazy. In addition, there are alliance skills, and these are kind of a big deal. Like, these change the game. So there are these crystals, and there are players around the outside that are going to be getting these crystals through a number of methods. But here's what these skills do. Skill effect. For 10 minutes, 50% of Alliance members' 7 injured troops in the capital Spire battles are instantly healed for the next combat if you win the battle. Whoa. Kind of handy. Draconic Revival. For the next 10 minutes, 50% of Alliance members' casualties versus another chief's city will survive and sent to the infirmary as 7 injured instead of losses. Whoa. 30-minute cooldown on that one. Dragonborn Shackle. For 10 minutes, any Alliance member's victory against another chief's city force teleports into a border region and blocks teleporting for 10 minutes. Whoa. 20-minute cooldown. Worm Breath Hold. For 10 minutes, defending Alliance members' troops in a city inflict 50% more deaths and suffer 50% less Sev injured troops. Wow. Here's where it gets interesting. 30 minutes, Alliance members, capital, and Spire defender troops get 15% increased attack and defense. Ooh. This one over here. For 30 minutes, increase Alliance members' rally capacity by 30%. Whoa, you get a lot of troops in there, man. Swift Emberwing. For the next 10 minutes, increase Alliance members' solo march speed by 100%. Sheesh. This mattered a lot because people are marching from far away. Basically, your rally leads in the middle are just hemorrhaging gems. They are bleeding gems out their eyes, ears, nose, every place in their body that can bleed gems is bleeding gems, speeding people places. Just gems are just wow. You've never seen gems disappear so fast. And Dragon Claw Rupture. For 10 minutes, increase Alliance members' Dragonite gathering speed by 50%. Applies to troops already marching or gathering. Effects immediately terminate after the skill expires. So those skills are a big deal. We ended up getting, I think, 4th or 5th overall, which was really, really impressive given that we had a lot of things distracting us from attending to this event in the way that I would have liked. And I'm actually extremely happy with the outcome. We did really great. Let me pull up the rewards in game. All right, so our state, the Cherry Gang, ranked 5th on the overall ranking in KO. Oh wait, that's KOI. That's not it. Arena of Glory. No, I thought I was in the spot where I was, but I wasn't. Okay, my personal rank. Top 172. There's my reward. My predictions, I'm so mad. I'm pretty sure I predicted one of the winning states, but unintentionally voted for their main alliance when they used some sub-alliance, I think. Rip Bozo. Where do we see... Wait. No. Is there not? Where do we see the statewide rewards? I don't know. I think we got 4th. Maybe 5th. Which I was really happy about. So anyways, Frost Dragon Tyrant, everybody. It was really wild. Definitely needed a lot of resources for healing. It is what it is. That's how it works. Needed a lot of gems for speeding. I've replenished quite a few gems because we have Alliance mobilization going on. Pro tip, if you're interested, I don't know, is that I top up all my monthly cards and weekly cards to like last until the next Alliance mobilization. You know, I'm buying them anyways, so may as well do it when I get credit, right? All right, I think this vid's good enough. Frost Dragon Tyrant, everybody. It's pretty fun, but too early in the morning for me. So we're gonna have to figure out a strategy, I guess, where I join late because I'm not doing it again. I'm not getting up that early again. My sleep is too important to me. I value my health too much to do that, to get up that early again. It was fun. I get that it's a cult experience. And 6 a.m. is too early. I feel like maybe when time zones change, when times shift, it'll be fine for me, right? Then it's more like 6:55 in the morning, and that feels more reasonable to me than 5:55 in the morning. But you know, right now it reset is like 7 p.m. my time. In the fall it'll be, oh, I guess it's the spring actually. When we spring forward, it's going to be at 8 p.m. for me. Then we're cooking. Anyways, you can see I'm like mentally incapacitated still because I've slept so little. I'm going to get back after all the stuff I got to get done. You enjoyed the vid, throw a like and subscribe. Cards in the end screen for recent vids. And until next time, you have fun smashing your enemies. Take care, everybody.